This is an interview of Greg McCulley talking about his bout with depression and how he recovered from the depression, insomnia, and prescription medications.
Welcome to the Plus or Minus 60 program. My name is Denny Hazen. On this edition, a longtime friend of our ministry, Greg McCulley, is here. He actually lives in Sharon, Pennsylvania. And the nature of his ministry is to deal with those people who are going through depression or discouragement, things that would try to hold them down. You know, so just before Brother Cup prays, Greg, I wanted to talk to you a little bit. We talked about the depression you were in, but the important thing is how you got out. Tell me how you got out.
How I got out was when the drugs stopped working. See, I was on a sleep aid, and when you reach tolerance, they don't work anymore. So I consulted my physician, and he said because of the emotional state of the deaths, that was recently my mother and sister, he said it's best that we don't do anything. Let's just ride it for a couple weeks. And during that time, I just started drinking some herbal drinks and exercise and talking with people who battle with some of those issues. And through that and through God's help, knowing that He was able to bring me out, I found myself within 30 days with my sleep back in order, gaining an hour here and an hour there, then eventually up to 7-8 hours, doing better. And thanking God that I came through that dark cloud, because when you're in it, it looks like there is no hope, or is there any hope? But coming to that place that God was with me in it and brought me out, and now to sleep. My mission is to help others who are battling with insomnia and depression, to let them know today that they can be free. So I'm right now in the process of writing a book. I have a website.
Yeah, give us your website so people know how to reach you.
My website is www.defeatdepression.webs.com. And my email is defeatdepression@gmail.com.
Okay. Well, we trust that people will be in touch with you and that you can help them. And we'd like to acknowledge the fact that the Catholic Charities of Sharon,
yes,
that they helped you with some counseling and things like that. And we're glad that you're back.
Yes.
And we appreciate you and we're proud of you.
All right. Hey, you know I love their music. What a great bunch of kids they are. Greg McCulley has been our guest on today's program, and we've talked about a very serious matter, which is depression. And I think that everyone today, from young people, old to young, and boys and girls and people of just everybody, has at one time or another been through what I would call a mild depression, if not more serious. But the matter does go way beyond just the average everyday thing for some people, yes, because they fall into a deeper depression. Can you give us some of the symptoms of what male depression or depression for just anybody would be?
Depression for not just males, but depression in general. It's a feeling of hopelessness, withdrawal from things that you're used to doing, normal activities. Also, sometimes the constant breaking down of the tears of, like, sometimes you can be in a situation, run into the restroom, and the tears will come, sometimes constant. Men with depression deal a little bit different than the women, because men, quote, is the breadwinner, so they don't recognize that they even have depression. So some of the men resort to maybe alcohol as an outlet.
And they're not so free to talk about it. They don't feel that they should be talking about it. Maybe, do you think it's possible they don't even really know?
Most men don't know. They consider that, quote, as a weakness. So if for a man to come forth and say he's hurting or in despair, that makes him look weak, so most men don't come forth at all.
How can women help their husbands or their brothers or someone else who might be going through a time, whether, you know, that depression could be brought on by anything, but how do we know, and how do we address it with the ones we love?
With the ones we love, usually you'll recognize it, usually like if it's a job loss, tragic death, bad childhood, things that led people to the valley of despair. As a partner with your partner who's in that valley, to recognize it and sometimes just to listen. I found now with talking with people, just to listen to their hurt and not judging, but being able to be a comfort and having a compassion to just listen and offer help, and God will show you how to do it.
I think that sometimes is the most difficult thing for those who are watching someone who's going through depression, is not to bring a little condemnation with that, which we don't want to do, but sometimes we do it unknowingly. Even we'll say, come on, you know, you've got every reason to have a great life and to be happy, and yet we bring a little bit of condemnation on people because they're way down here. We don't want them to be, but maybe always we don't handle it properly either. We can pat them on the back and say, listen, I know you're going through something really hard for you, but I want you to know I'm here, and I'll help you in any way that I can with support and whatever it is that I can do to help get you through this thing. Is that a good thing to say? Or?
Yes, and by me being an ordained elder, I preach, I evangelize, and people would say, how could an elder end up in depression and on prescription drugs? For a man who knows Jesus Christ, I would say unto them, bad things happen to good people, and God is there all the time. And I just thank God that now that I can be a help to people as I travel and share my story, that falling into that pit allowed me to now develop the compassion for God's people for real, to understand them and offer help.
Well, you know, I think that's a good thing to do, and I would say that if you know of someone, now Christian people, a lot of Christian people will not talk about it because it looks like a bad thing for them, but we need to be in prayer and praying for those we love about. Greg, we're going to check in with Denny right now and see what's going on with him, and we'll be back for a final word.
Yes.
Thank you, Marge. I want